This woman just summarized all the feminist victim mentality in one single video, and I'm grateful because I'm answering to it and trying to explain why these ideas make no sense.
Question of the day. What privileges do men have?
50% of the population of the United States is women, and yet we make up 27% of Congress, 27% of the House of Representatives, and 25% of the United States Senate. And there's never been a female president. Out of the 46 that we've had, they've all been men, and 45 of them have been white men.
What feminists need to understand here is that we're in a process of transformation. It has nothing to do with men having privilege. It is the natural development of our civilization. The feminist movement asking for legal rights did not start the process of transformation. It started after World War II, when millions of men were sent to war to die, and women had to start working. Over time, they became full-time workers alongside men. They started asking for the same rights. The other important point here is that not 100% of women want to do certain jobs. Something that I have come to understand more and more while coaching my client is that many women want a calm life. Many women are not drawn to power, money, and greed, qualities that are often required in politics. It's not just about wanting equality and stopping discrimination. You need masculine traits that many of us are not interested in.
64% of domestic violence homicides are women.
Yes, domestic violence is more prevalent against women, but the explanation is not just men have privilege. There can be multiple reasons. For example, men are physically stronger, which is just the way nature designed us, but it's ridiculous to blame nature. Also, the explanation could be related to the fact that men in the current society are often confused and have lost the tools to deal with their feelings, which also may have various roots like broken families or lack of real purpose. Additionally, men often depend on women for their stability, and when they feel their women are leaving them, as in 80% of divorces cases, they can become violent. I'm not justifying violence, but I'm pointing out possible root causes that need to be addressed instead of adding fuel to the fire of this ridiculous fight between sexes.
And in spite of being 50% of the population in Fortune 500 companies, women make up 8% of CEOs.
The business world, the corporate world, was designed by and for men. It is a very masculine environment that many women are not interested in. I strongly believe it should change, and we need more feminine energy in it. However, not 100% of women want to be CEOs. Many still want to be stay-at-home moms because nothing is more valuable to them than their homes and their children's safety and education. So when less than 100% of women are interested in the egoic fight for power, you cannot expect to have 50% of women as CEOs. And companies want to bring the best and the most qualified people to lead and that feel passionate about it, regardless of the gender.
Jobs that are considered feminine, like being a teacher, being a nurse, being a nanny, are all woefully underpaid, while jobs that are considered masculine, like being an engineer, being a contractor, being a business owner, are all very well paid.
Certain jobs are considered feminine, but not because someone decided it that way. The reason is written in our DNA and our psychology. Women are naturally more empathic, so they're often more interested in caring for others and people-related jobs. This woman also needs some clarification. Business owners are not a job position. If someone owns a business, they will be very well paid regardless of the gender. Plus, the issue of job valuation is not solely based on gender, but on the value they bring to the table. I believe that nurses and teachers should be paid way more. But it's not a gender problem because if you are a male and you do the same job, they will pay the same.
Women are blamed for choosing lower paying positions. But when we decide to pursue leadership positions, we're quite literally blamed for the disintegrating family structure in America.
Nobody is blaming women for disintegrating families in America. The system is changing drastically and there are many reasons it's not changing for the best. Broken families are one of the reasons, and yes, 80% of divorces might be started by women, but there are many factors involved. It's not black and white.
Things like vasectomies and Viagra are covered by most health insurances. Men's reproductive rights are never up for debate. Their Viagra and their vasectomies are quite literally covered by their insurance. And yet women's reproductive rights can be the law, can be in the Constitution, and still be revoked.
Viagra and vasectomy are not only for men, they benefit women too. Vasectomies, for example, save us from the need to take hormones that interfere with our bodies and human nature. The speaker seems to be finding excuses to keep victimizing women and promoting hatred towards men with no reason. If something, I believe that Viagra was created for us.
I want you to type in the comment section below how many men you knew that were upset or even attempted to console you when your rights were literally fucking taken away from you. If a man so much as asks us out to dinner, we have to put out to give him a return on his investment by buying us food. And the risk of us sleeping with this man is potentially getting pregnant. Which if we were to get pregnant and couldn't support that child, we would be blamed for opening our legs. If we say no and that man grapes us, we'll be asked what we were wearing, how many drinks we had, and usually receive no legal recourse.
And then women, abortion is a decision that starts before the moment you decide to hook up with a random guy who is not father material. Deciding to give it away because he buys you dinner shows a lack of self-respect. The speaker is not understanding the value of the women body and sexuality. Additional rape situations are not generally occurrence. They are the exception, as well as men setting free after found guilty of rape. The majority of cases involve women not respecting their boundaries and engaging in casual relationships. This is the reality of abortion.
Men are allowed to age. Men don't have the tremendous burden of maintaining an impossible beauty standard to not be deemed invisible. If you meet the beauty standard, you're made both safe and unsafe because you have more eyes on you, but people will actually give a fuck if something bad happens to you. If you don't meet the beauty standard, you're made safe and unsafe because you're rendered invisible, which means you have less targets on your back. But if something bad happens to you, no one's gonna give a shit.
The burden of impossible beauty is not men's fault. It is our fault. We women are the ones who follow fashion magazines and Victoria's Secret fashion shows. We don't really care if we have a little cellulite. It's us women who are obsessed with wrinkles and body weight. We haven't been able to accept our bodies and the natural aging process. We compete with other women to maintain impossible Hollywood standards. If something, natural beauty is more valuable to men than to women. So on this point, the speaker is 100% wrong. Plus, men don't have it easier either. They need to be tall and make six figures to be considered a woman. In dating apps, for example, the men swipe right more often than women.
No matter what we do, we lose. We don't get to be a doctor. We get to be a female doctor. We don't get to be athletes. We get to be female athletes. We don't have the opportunity of being revered by our peers on a global stage because you control the narrative. And no matter what we do, no matter how hard we try, we can't win.
Regarding the last part, I have no idea what she's talking about. There are many successful women throughout history. Or is she saying that 8% of the CEOs and 27% of Congress women are invisible? Or what about Marie Curie, Greta Thunberg, Angela Merkel, Malala, Rihanna, Serena Williams, Hillary Clinton? Are those women also invisible that haven't done anything? I truly believe that the speaker comments are disregarding all the successful women in history.
And that's all changing. You gave us just a little too much power, and we're gonna take it back. But we have a long way to go.
Finally, the threat against men at the end is why I so strongly disagree with the current representation of feminism. There is nothing to take back. We need to work together as the complement we are to create a better society. Men have played an amazing role in our civilization, putting their lives on the front lines to save and support their families and countries. If we continue propagating these lies and uploading this hate, we won't improve as a society. Both male and female qualities are needed because we're different and sometimes we don't want to do the same things. These woman views or whoever wrote that only foster hate between the sexes, not understanding or compassion. In fact, this video perfectly represents women being so far from their feminine side. Women, you are valued, heard, loved, and powerful. No matter if this woman does not get it, I'm sure your father, your son, your boss, your husband, your male friends know it.